Connor is one of the most famous photographers and is highly popular among women. On his usual day at work, Connor shoots photographs of various women for different popular magazine covers. He sometimes tries to go to extreme lengths to take photographs. He even photographs a singer while having an apple placed on her head, with an archer shooting an arrow at the apple. After work, he gets romantic with the singer. Connor's assistant, Melanie, informs him that he has to leave immediately for Newport as his brother, Paul, is getting married. Melanie also tells Connor that he would be receiving calls from his 3 girlfriends. Connor, who doesn't get into a relationship with any girl he is with, tells his assistant to put those 3 girls on a conference video call. He breaks up with all 3 of them at the same time and leaves for his brother's wedding. Connor arrives at the house of his late Uncle Wayne, where the wedding would take place. Paul and his soon-to-be wife, Sandra, are going through the wedding rehearsal. The wedding officiant would be Sandra's father. Paul is more than excited to meet his brother, but Sandra is a bit nervous, as she wants her wedding to be completely perfect, and she is aware that Connor has been in a relationship with all of the bridesmaids, except one. Connor would be the best man at his brother's wedding. One of the bridesmaids is Jenny, who is a childhood friend of Connor and, at one point, used to be Connor's girlfriend. Connor asks Paul if he is sure about getting married, because Connor has never believed in a wedding. He has acquired a habit of being with multiple women, and he enjoys it more than anything else in the world. Jenny warns Connor not to ruin his brother's wedding. Otherwise, she would make Connor's life miserable. Connor sees the pictures of his Uncle Wayne, and he misses him dearly. He goes to his room and is disgusted to find his room completely decorated with wedding items. Jenny arrives and asks him if everything's all right. Connor says that his Uncle Wayne would have never approved of this wedding if he was still alive. Jenny accuses Connor of not knowing the importance of a wedding, as all he has ever done is go after a woman. Connor tries to get romantic with Jenny, but knowing who he actually is, Jenny doesn't fall for Connor's trap. Everyone gathers at the dinner table, and when Sandra arrives, she freaks out about the food, as she wants the meal to be according to her at the wedding. Paul informs Connor that he would be raising a toast at Paul's wedding, as it is a tradition that the best man at a wedding raises the toast. Connor doesn't want to do it, as he has always believed that marriage is an oppressive institution, and love is for the weak. Connor goes to the bathroom, and as he is washing his hand, he hears his Uncle Wayne's voice from the back. Connor is in shock to see his dead Uncle Wayne right in front of him. At first, he thinks that he might be seeing his uncle because he is drunk, but when Uncle Wayne passes right through him, he believes that it is all real. He asks his uncle what is he doing here, to which Uncle Wayne responds that he is here to warn Connor, as Connor is becoming just like him. Connor says that he always wanted to become like his Uncle Wayne, who assures Connor that he is ruining his life like this. Uncle Wayne informs that Connor would be visited by 3 ghosts that night, and would show him how his life would turn out to be if he doesn't change for good. Uncle Wayne tells Connor that his life is about to change from now on. Connor goes out and finds a woman at the bar. Initially, Connor thinks that the woman right next to him might be one of the 3 ghosts that would be visiting him, but the woman turns out to be Sandra's mother. The woman turns out to be extremely attractive, and quickly catches Connor's eye. Once he learns that she is divorced to Sandra's dad, Connor tries to get romantic with her. Sandra's mother doesn't pay much attention to Connor, but she lets him know that one of the bridesmaids has been after Connor all day long. Sandra introduces Jenny to one of his close friends, Brad. Soon, Brad and Jenny learn that they have so much in common. The bridesmaid who has been after Connor all day tries to flirt with him. Connor tells her to wait for him in his bedroom. Before he could go to his bedroom, Connor meets Brad with Jenny. Although he makes fun of both of them, Connor is a bit jealous that Jenny is with another man, rather than him. Connor enters his bedroom and finds another woman named Allison in his bed. She turns out to be the first of the 3 ghosts that would be visiting Connor. Allison is the first ghost of girlfriends past. Connor thinks that he might be dreaming, but learns that all of what is happening to him is real. Upon asking what Allison would be doing with Connor, she responds that she is going to take Connor back through his past girlfriends, so that he can learn what went wrong with his life. Allison takes Connor to his past, where both of them watch little Connor playing with little Jenny on his birthday. Little Jenny gifts little Connor a Polaroid camera, and little Connor takes her photo with it. Connor remembers how he used to love Jenny but couldn't actually tell her. Allison and Connor also watch Connor's parents, who died later on. Both of them then fast forward to Connor's high school prom night, where a young Connor hopes to express his feelings to a young Jenny. He also looks forward to dancing with young Jenny. Before he could ask her for a dance, young Jenny's friends come up to her and say that one of the coolest men in the school, Pete Hastings, wants to dance with her. Young Jenny notices that young Connor is a bit shy in asking to dance, so she decides to dance with Pete instead. Pete and young Jenny share a romantic moment in the process as well. Connor is mad to see how Jenny ignored him in the past. Young Connor calls Uncle Wayne to pick him up from school. When young Connor tells Uncle Wayne what happened and how he hates girls now, Uncle Wayne tells him to not feel this way. He takes young Connor to a bar where he teaches him how to befriend a girl, although much of Uncle Wayne's advice were unethical. Uncle Wayne asks young Connor how he would ask a beautiful woman, seated behind them, out for a date. And when young Connor answers him, Uncle Wayne feels proud of him. For the next few years, Uncle Wayne teaches young Connor even more about how to be around women. 2 years after the prom night, young Connor is now highly famous among boys and girls. Allison and Connor then visit a party, where a popular young Connor totally avoids Jenny, and makes her jealous when he makes out with Allison, which is how both of them got to know each other. Allison and Connor then watch a young Connor grow up to become a big photographer. They witness Connor in a bar who runs into Jenny. Connor is more confident than ever, and he boasts about how he makes a ton of money every year. Connor asks Jenny what she has been doing currently, to which she replies that she is a doctor now. Connor seems to have revived his feelings for Jenny. He asks her out for dinner, to which Jenny agrees. Allison and Connor watch Connor taking Jenny back to her home after dinner, and when Connor proposes that he should stay with Jenny, Jenny refuses, saying that both of them aren't there yet. Allison and Connor then watch how Connor and Jenny get extremely close to each other over the course of the next few weeks. Jenny once again appreciates Connor's presence around her. The time finally arrives when Jenny decides to accept Connor as her true lover. After spending a wonderful time, Connor realizes that he is getting into a serious relationship, something he promised to never do when he was learning from his Uncle Wayne. Just when he is about to leave, Jenny tells Connor to not leave. Connor stays for the night but leaves immediately the next morning. Jenny is heartbroken that Connor has thought of her just like every other woman he has ever been with. The current Connor realizes how he was stupid enough to leave a woman who he actually cared for. Before Allison could part ways with him, she shows Connor a room full of women Connor has been with. Connor has a moment of realization about the horrible decisions he has ever made. Connor wakes up and thinks that all of this might have just been a dream. While Sandra's father teaches everyone how the wedding would commence, Connor goes to the kitchen to get himself some alcohol. While he does so, he almost knocks down the massive wedding cake. The top layer of the cake is about to fall down, so Connor tries his best to find something that would keep the cake intact. The rest of the people then prepare for the wedding dance. Jenny dances with Brad, something both Sandra and Paul appreciate. Connor couldn't hold the cake long enough, and it ends up falling down, being destroyed in the process. Connor apologizes for messing up the cake, and Sandra goes through a big meltdown. The bridesmaids talk about how Connor has been behaving all night long. One of the bridesmaids reveals that she used to be in a relationship with Paul, something Sandra is unaware of. Connor cleans up the kitchen and tells Jenny that he would order and pay for a new cake for the wedding. Jenny tells him not to worry about it, as they would arrange a new cake early. Connor admits his past mistakes and apologizes to Jenny for leaving her. He confesses that he acted horribly when both of them were together. Connor also proposes that both of them should get back together. He says that he has been seeing things clearly now and wants to make amends with Jenny. Jenny says that she feels that Connor might be speaking from his heart, but isn't sure whether Connor would actually stay if both of them get back together. Connor pleads with Jenny that she should give him another chance, but Jenny refuses to do so. A frightened Connor tries to leave back for his home, and once he gets inside his car, he comes across his assistant Melanie. Connor is happy to see Melanie, and when he moves forward to hug her, he goes right through her, indicating that she is the second ghost of the night, more specifically ghost of the girlfriend present. Even though they never dated, Melanie would be acting as a ghost, and would show Connor how he is messing up his life. Both of them head back inside, and they observe how everyone is having a good time without Connor. Paul stands up for his brother and says that Connor might act like a horrible person sometimes, but he is the only family Paul has. Connor gets emotional when he watches Paul profess his love for him. Jenny overhears one of the bridesmaids talking unkind about her, and she sadly heads back to the kitchen to fix the already messed up cake. Brad arrives and consoles Jenny. Connor gets angry as to how Brad is trying to get close to Jenny. Melanie takes Connor to a place where the three women, who Connor broke up with on the conference call a day ago, are talking about how Connor was rude to them. As Melanie and Connor watch all three of those girls, the present Melanie arrives and consoles those three women that whatever happens, Connor would be the only one who would remain alone forever. Connor meets his Uncle Wayne once again, and Connor admits in front of him that he has hurt many women in his life. Soon it starts to rain, and Uncle Wayne tells Connor that the rain is the teardrops of all the women Connor has ever hurt. Connor returns to find Paul and Sandra having a heated argument. Sandra has found out that Paul used to have an affair with one of the bridesmaids. Sandra wants to call off the wedding, but Connor stops her. Connor says that the affair was years ago, and Paul really loves Sandra now. Jenny asks Connor to not interfere in a serious situation like this. Connor accuses Sandra of blaming Paul in this matter, and not her friend who had an affair with Paul. Paul wants Connor to leave, as all Connor has done is make things worse. Before Connor could leave, an angel-like beautiful woman appears, who is actually Connor's ghost of girlfriend's future. Connor wastes no time in getting romantic with that woman. She takes Connor to a church, where Connor watches a happy Jenny getting married to Brad. Connor doesn't believe it and tries to stop the wedding, but couldn't, as he is a ghost himself. Connor finds his brother in the church and notices that Paul isn't wearing a wedding ring, indicating that Paul never got married. Paul gets out of the church, and as he walks forward, he starts to age. Paul reaches a funeral, and Connor is stunned to find out that it is his funeral. Connor realizes that no one is present at his funeral. Uncle Wayne tells Connor that the number of people Connor has ever hurt would eventually become the reason for no one missing Connor after his death other than Paul. Connor wakes up and finds out that Paul's wedding has been called off, and Sandra is about to leave with all of the bridesmaids. Connor promises Paul that he would fix all of this, and decides to stop Sandra from leaving. He is able to chase Sandra, and also prevents getting into a horrific accident. He is able to stop them in time. Connor lets Sandra know that Paul and the bridesmaid made a mistake years ago, and Sandra should forget about it as Paul loves Sandra now. Connor tells Sandra that she would regret this for the rest of her life if she doesn't get married over something that was just an idiotic mistake. Sandra takes Connor's advice, saying that she also felt the same, and decides to get married to Paul. Paul and Sandra are happier than ever, and the wedding takes place. Connor decides to photograph the entire wedding, something he was against before the wedding day. Connor raises a toast, another thing he opposed, and wishes Paul and Sandra all the best for their future ahead. Connor says that he never believed in love, but now he does as he has closely watched how much Paul loves Sandra. Later on, all of the bridesmaids try to get romantic with Connor, who doesn't bother them as he is completely changed now. Connor meets Jenny outside, and both of them try to fix their broken relationship. Connor confesses that he always loved Jenny. He proves this by showing her the Polaroid of hers Connor took with the camera Jenny gifted her when they were kids. Connor says that they should give each other another chance. Jenny has also found Connor to be completely changed, and she agrees with Connor. Both of them share a romantic moment, solidifying Connor's change in his behavior. The ghost of Uncle Wayne is watching from nearby, and he is proud of Connor. Uncle Wayne tries to get romantic with the rest of the ghosts, but none of them are interested in him. Melanie decides to give Brad a chance, now that Brad knows that Jenny loves Connor.